This is the greatest coincidence of all time. Around the 1950s, there was a 15-person church choir in Nebraska that met every Wednesday at 7:15 p.m. for practice. But on the 1st of March 1950, something strange happened. It was a cold day, so the pastor, Reverend Klempel, stopped earlier at the church to fire up the furnace and went home for dinner. It was then time to go back to church when his daughter noticed a large food stain on her dress. So he told his wife to iron another dress, which made them uncharacteristically late for practice. A choir member named Harvey was also trying to get his two sons ready, as his wife was out of town and he wasn't as quick in getting them ready as she was, which meant he would also be late. Another choir member named Herbert lost track of time that day while writing a letter. LaDonna was a student who was trying to finish her homework that same day, but she was having problems with geometry. The Estu sisters who were also in the choir were having problems with their car, so they asked the struggling mathematician, LaDonna, to pick them up. The pianist, Marilyn Paul, had fallen asleep after dinner, and her mother, who was the choir director, was having problems waking her up, which would also make them late for practice. High school student Lucille lost track of time listening to a radio program, which meant her and her neighbor Dorothy would also be running behind schedule. Mrs. Leonard and her daughter had to stop by her mother's house before practice, and the mother had a lot of stories to tell that day. And chorister Joyce Black had no peculiar reason for coming late. She said she was just feeling lazy and wanted to rest a bit. The practice was scheduled for 7:20, and at 7:27, the church would erupt to a ball of flames fueled by a broken gas pipe. No one inside the church would survive the blast, except that there was no one inside the church. Because on that day, each of the choir members and their children were uncharacteristically late for the most random reasons. So do you think this was divine intervention, or it was simply the greatest coincidence of all time? Baltimore?